Okay, today we're going to move way beyond just AI side hustles. We're talking about building a real, actual multi-million-dollar company. Look, the window of opportunity here is closing faster than you think, so it's absolutely crucial to figure out the right business to build starting right now.
So, what is the most profitable AI business you can actually start? While everyone else is out there just chasing the latest hype, we're going to use a solid, data-backed approach to find the real, sustainable, high-growth opportunities. I'm going to break down the businesses I would start today, and we'll cover everything: the cost, the effort, and the income potential for each one.
And why the big rush? Why 2026? Because all the market data points to this year as the critical turning point. This is the year when these specific AI industries are projected to just explode with growth. The time to plant the seeds for that harvest is right now.
Now, before we dive into the list, you got to understand my two non-negotiable rules for looking at any opportunity. First, you have to target high-income buyers. We want to solve problems for people who will happily pay top dollar to either save time or make more money. Simple as that. Second, choose a growing market. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? If a business idea doesn't hit both of these criteria, I don't even look at it.
So let's jump into our first category. I call these the time savers. Honestly, these are the perfect entry points into the whole AI economy because they solve the one problem that wealthy clients will pay almost anything for: getting their time back.
So coming in at number 6 is the AI-powered virtual assistant. Just think about it. Busy entrepreneurs, creators, executives, they value their time more than anything. They are desperate for help managing their emails, scheduling their lives, and handling research. You can be the one to solve that problem for them.
And the beautiful thing about this model is how accessible it is. The cost and effort to get started are super low because you're just leveraging amazing tools that already exist, like ChatGPT and Gemini. With just a handful of clients, you could be earning $10,000 to $20,000 a month, and you're doing it in a market that's growing at 20% every single year.
Now, for those of you with a bit more of a creative side, our fifth model is the AI content repurposing service. This is basically a cash printing business for the creator economy. So many businesses, they'll create one big piece of long-form content like a podcast or YouTube video, and then they just stop. They're leaving so much money on the table.
So with this model, what you do is you use AI tools like Opus Clips or Descript to take that one long video and magically transform it into dozens of TikToks, Reels, and carousels, all perfectly matching the client's brand voice. The effort is medium, yeah, because you do need to understand their brand, but the income potential is huge. I know agencies pulling in $10,000 to $30,000 a month with just a few clients.
And this just perfectly illustrates our second rule. The creator economy is on its way to hitting $480 billion. That is a massive, growing wave you get to ride with a service like this. Okay, let's start moving up the value chain to what I call the revenue multipliers. See, these models can charge way higher prices because they go beyond just saving someone time. They directly help a client's bottom line. They make them more money.
Number 4 is the AI implementation and automation agency. Think about it. Pretty much every big company was built before AI. They are sitting on these ancient, clunky, manual workflows, and they are desperate for an expert, that's you, to come in and modernize their business with AI.
Okay, so the cost and effort here are medium. You'll need to learn tools like Zapier or Make.com. This market has a cool name. It's called hyper-automation, which is just the idea of automating everything you possibly can in a business. And here's a little pro tip. You can literally use AI to teach you how to set up these automations for your clients. The income potential here is serious. We're talking $20,000 to $50,000 a month.
This brings us to number 3, the AI lead generation agency. This business has, well, basically unlimited potential. Why? Because you're trading your clients' dollars for more dollars in revenue. I mean, if you can go to a business owner and say, hey, give me $1 and I'll give you back 10, they're going to give you every single dollar they have.
Here, you'll be leveraging these incredibly powerful AI tools like Clay or Apollo.io to research, qualify, and contact potential leads at a massive scale. Now, the effort is a little higher because you need some real marketing chops, but the income potential is just exceptional, anywhere from $30,000 to $80,000 per month.
All right, now we're getting into the quote-unquote boring businesses. And I say that with a huge smile on my face because this is where the real billions are made. These are the less obvious, high-stakes opportunities that have way less competition.
Welcome to the top tier, the high-stakes guardians.
These last two models are all about solving critical, high-risk, and frankly non-negotiable problems for huge corporations, the ones with the biggest budgets.
At number 2, we have managed cybersecurity, specifically something called managed detection and response, or MDR. This means you're not just installing a firewall and calling it a day. No, you are providing 24/7 monitoring to detect and shut down threats the second they happen. As AI gets smarter, so do AI-powered hackers. And companies are, well, they're terrified and they are willing to pay a lot of money to be protected.
Now, the key here is that the high cost and effort and the technical, kind of nerdy nature of this work, that's actually the best part. That stuff creates a huge barrier to entry. Your service would use AI to scan network traffic for weird stuff no human could ever spot, predicting and stopping attacks before they even happen. This means way less competition and the ability to charge massive monthly retainers, $40,000 to $80,000.
And listen, this isn't some sci-fi movie stuff. I have friends whose team members got phone calls that sounded exactly like their CEO asking for bank information. Hackers are using AI right now to clone voices and create deepfakes to scam companies out of millions. This threat is very real, which means the demand for this service is non-negotiable.
And finally, the number 1 most profitable AI business on our list, responsible AI governance and compliance. I know, it sounds like some dry government report, but trust me on this one. This is where the biggest opportunity is hiding.
See, new laws like the EU AI Act are forcing huge companies in areas like healthcare and tech to prove that their AI systems are trustworthy. Your company would use specialized AI tools to audit your client's AI, looking for bias, privacy issues, and security holes. For them, avoiding a massive, company-killing lawsuit isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The effort is high, for sure, but the income potential is just immense. We're talking retainers from $50,000 to $100,000 a month.
So we've walked through 6 really powerful business models that combine AI leverage with huge market demand. But let's be crystal clear, these are not side hustles. Success in any of these requires a very specific mindset.
I call it the 1,000-day commitment. If you really want to separate yourself from everyone else just chasing AI trends, you have to be willing to go all in. Pick one of these models, decide you're going to become the best in the world at it, and then show up every single day for the next 1,000 days. That is how you win.
AI is shaping the future with or without us. So the only question now is, which of these businesses are you going to start? Your journey starts today.
All right, today we are diving into something pretty incredible, a blueprint for building your very own AI agency, completely from scratch. And yeah, you heard that right, even if you're starting with zero experience. Let's get right into it.
So let's just tackle the elephant in the room right away. Is it actually possible to build an AI business that could pull in, say, 50 grand a month without having a fancy computer science degree or spending years learning to code? I mean, it sounds a little bit like a fantasy, doesn't it?
Well, according to the blueprint we're breaking down today, the answer is a very clear, very confident yes. The opportunity is absolutely real, and you know what? It's a heck of a lot more accessible than you'd think.
So, what kind of business is this exactly? We're talking about something called an AI implementation agency, and the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. You go out and you help established, often older, companies finally modernize. You become the expert who comes in and automates all those clunky, manual, time-sucking workflows they're stuck with using AI and other cool tools.
Okay, so what's it really take to get this off the ground? Well, the cost and the effort, they're in that medium range. This is going to take some real work, for sure, but here's the absolute game changer, the part that should really get your attention. The technical skill required is low. That's the crack in the door that opens this up for so many people.
So how do you actually pull it off? Well, that's where the Modern Automation Blueprint comes in. We're about to walk through the 5 core steps, step by step, that are going to form the foundation of your new agency.
And here it is, the whole roadmap, all in one place. First, you've got to learn the core tools. Second, and this is the fun part, you use AI as your secret weapon. Think of it as your own personal developer. Third, you've got to target the right clients, the ones who will happily pay for your help. Fourth, you need to understand the massive financial opportunity here. And finally, number 5, you have to make the commitment to actually do the work. All right, let's dive into that first step, building your toolkit. This is where we just completely tear down that old myth that you need to be some kind of tech genius. The skills you need to master are, believe it or not, surprisingly simple.
And this right here, this just says it all. The old way? Yeah, that required years in school, getting a computer science degree.
The new way, it's all about mastering a couple of incredibly powerful no-code tools. You're not trying to build the engine from scratch anymore. You're just learning how to drive a really, really fast car.
So, what are these magic tools? You're going to focus on platforms like Zapier and Make.com. The best way to think of them is like they're the universal translators for business software. They're the glue that connects all the different apps a company uses. Their email, their calendar, their customer database, and lets you build these incredible automated systems that just run 24/7 in the background, no code required.
But okay, what happens when you hit a wall? When you run into a problem that feels a little too technical? Well, that brings us to step 2, and your ultimate secret weapon, using AI, like ChatGPT or Gemini, as your very own senior developer.
And let me make that real for you. Instead of spending hours or even days banging your head against the wall trying to figure out some complex problem, you just ask the AI. You can literally type a prompt just like this one. Hey, I've got data in HubSpot and I want to connect it to a calendar tool. Can you write me the Zapier code for it? And boom, the AI just spits out the solution. It's like having a world-class expert on call 24/7 for free.
Okay, so now you've got the skills. Let's move on to step 3, finding those high-value clients. Because look, having the best tools in the world doesn't mean a thing if you don't know who to sell your services to. Now, this is so important. You don't target just anyone. You want to zero in on businesses that were established before the whole AI explosion. A quick way to find them, give them the paper trail test. If you can imagine their office still relying on physical paperwork, paper invoices, or people manually typing things into spreadsheets, bingo, that's your prime client. Why? Because they usually have deep pockets, they're hungry for new ways to find leads, and they are literally drowning in manual tasks that are costing them a fortune. And this leads us to a really powerful idea. Your goal is to solve what some people call rich people problems. What does that mean? It means you're targeting clients where time is literally more valuable than money. Think about it. If you can save a busy law firm or a marketing agency 20 hours of manual work every single week, the few $1,000s you charge them is an absolute no-brainer. Your value isn't based on how many hours you work, it's based on the massive return they get.
And that brings us right to step 4, the financials. That massive return on investment for your clients, that's why these numbers are actually possible. Hitting $20,000 or even $50,000 a month isn't about finding hundreds of customers. It's about landing just 4 to 10 high-value clients on a simple monthly retainer. That's it. You're not selling them a one-time thing, you're becoming a critical, indispensable part of their daily operation.
And if you're thinking, is this just some passing trend I need to catch right now? Think again. The bigger market for all of this stuff, they call it hyper-automation, is projected to be worth almost $250 billion. A number that big doesn't just mean the market's huge, it means we're in the middle of a massive long-term global shift. And you'd be putting yourself right in the center of it.
Okay, this all leads us to step 5, the final, and I've got to say, the most critical piece of this entire puzzle. The skills are learnable, the market is huge, but none of it means a thing without the right mindset. And that is the 1,000-day commitment. You have to make a choice from day one. You have to approach this as a real business, not just some casual side hustle you dabble in. Success here requires the kind of focus and dedication you'd use to build a skyscraper, not a treehouse. So what does going all in actually look like on, say, a random Tuesday? It's simple, but it's not easy. It means you're using AI every single day to get smarter and to upgrade your own skills. It means you're obsessively focused on finding those first few customers, and once you land them, it means you show up and you serve them with everything you've got day in and day out. So there you have it. The blueprint is right here in front of you. It's a clear, 5-step path from zero experience to a business that could genuinely change your life. The only question left is the one you've got to answer for yourself. When does your 1,000-day commitment begin?
Like, follow, and subscribe for more videos.